your boy Rashad, aka Culture Chronicles. We back, Bridging the Gap podcast. We got a special one today. Matter of fact, let me sit up a little bit. We got a special one today. I'm here once again, my wonderful, wonderful cast. Brother Malik, Mr. Mech himself. Thanks for listening. First Lady, Sister Rashad Story Cobb, of course, always. ICANDO, shout out. And I'm glad I got this person here because today I'm leaning on her today for this. My sis, ZsaTiera White, health and wellness guru. And I'm glad I got her here today because today we're going to get into something a little bit more personal, a little bit more just intimate. We're going to talk about a little bit of wellness, health, and depression. So I guess I'll kick it off by saying that I am one of those who has been through depression phases. And I'm not saying I've been in the depths of the depths, but I've been in them spaces where I'm like, yo, like, where's my life going? Yeah. Where am I going? Mm-hmm. And if I don't know where my life is going, you know, what am I doing? And me growing up in the church, believing, having faith in God, my depression did get to a certain point where I could remember, it's probably like, I said about 3 or 4 years ago, I was talking to one of my closest friends I grew up with. He now lives in Chicago. And so he called me actually. It was crazy. He called me and I believe it was God because he's one of those friends that I lean on for different conversations. So he called me and he's just like, yo, I was just thinking about you, and you good, you all right? And I just told him, I said, ironically, bro, no, I'm not good. And that was the first time in my life I told him, I said, bro, I don't know for sure, but I'm having those feelings like my faith is wavering. For the first time ever in my life. Yeah. And he kind of talked me down, which, that's what friends are for. Right. And, but that's just kind of an example of where depression kind of took me. Yeah. And it wasn't for a lack of resources or, family or friends. I've always had that around me. Of course. But it was, how you can feel alone, even though you're not alone. Yeah. Like you got everybody around you. You can call a million people. Yeah. But when you're in your most, your intrusive thoughts, you're like, man, I feel alone. Why is that? And so I want to start by just kind of asking, how can the well help the depressed? How can we support the depressed or the people who are down in the depths?
Absolutely. I think the most powerful part about being in wellness is understanding that everybody in wellness is not okay either. And the best way to be able to help somebody or the best way to feel better about what you're going through is to outreach and help somebody else. Right. I've had the pleasure, and I'm so grateful because I've been able to help so many people through so many dark and trying times. Yeah. And I think that that's why obedience is important because I listen to God whether I want to or not. Yeah. It's a lot of times I don't want to do any of the work that I'm doing. Yeah. And it feeds me. And I feel like obedience is important because he uses whoever he uses. Yeah. And I fortunately have been called to do a work where I'm able to speak life into people, but it's because I need the life spoken into me too. Yeah. Yeah. So as I'm having this conversation with one of my closest people as well, who had mild depression, it was all based in purpose. Yeah. Because sometimes when you're experiencing like a bout of depression, it's because you have a version of a life that you want to live that you haven't really obtained yet. Yeah. Because there's depression that truly does need to be medicated. Yeah. When I was in psychology, you really cannot control certain feelings and things that does need to be medicated. But there's some depression that is mild that really is just purpose driven. Yeah. What is your purpose and have you lost it? And have you been able to find it? And sometimes when you have a version of who you want to be and where you're supposed to be, you can be lost trying to get there if you don't feel like you're on the right path. And it can take you down a spiral. Why am I not where I'm supposed to be? It can take you down a spiral even in your faith because it's like, I believe in you. Why aren't you why aren't you putting me in positions to where I'm better? Why am I still here? So I think that it's such a blessing to be able to be a part of wellness, but people in wellness are not well. Yeah. I just feel like sometimes we have to help other people to feel like we're helped ourselves. Sometimes I have conversations with people and I needed to hear that myself. And that's why I don't take any of the glory. That's why I give all of it away to God, because I'm like, I didn't even know that I was supposed to say that. I needed to be able to hear that. And I feel like you really have to make sure that, one, you're obedient, one, that you know what your purpose is. And if you don't know what your purpose is, have faith. And I think faith is the most important component, especially with mild depression, because God will sit you down at what you believe is the absolute lowest. Because like you said, I feel supported, I have family, I have friends, but I don't know exactly where I'm going. So it's like, hey, have a seat. I know for sure, I just spoke with a person who was dealing with mild depression as well. I'm like, hey, take everything off of your plate, because the version of what you think your life is supposed to look like, you just piling and throwing things all on top. It's like, I need to do this, or I used to be able to do this. I got to get back to this. Start from zero and put one thing at a time, because you will spiral trying to catch up to a version of you that you were or what you should have been. And I feel like that's so unfair, because who said? You're supposed to do exactly what you're doing right now. And sometimes we like to be our own superhero in our stories sometimes. So it's like, I'm putting all this in place. I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna get this done. And God will say, right back down to the bottom again, you go. And so you depend on me, and stop looking for your solution, stop looking for your own way out, and you have a seat, and it's gonna seem impossible to get out of this, because the only way out of this is me. And so until you realize sometimes that God is your only way out, depression will sit right there in your face, and it don't matter who you have or what you have or what you've been through, or if you don't have a hard life, it don't matter. Your purpose is bigger than how you feel. So sometimes God is going to sit you down and wait till you depend on him. Not your family, not your parents, not what you have resources to, me and me alone. And I'm gonna knock you back down every time. I make it impossible to get up, because that's how we know that God gave it to you, because God wants all the glory alone. Not your help. He does not want our assistance, not even a little bit. So it's like, he will do that. And that's the spiral way to keep you in. And that's why I don't kind of condemn people who have been through what seems like a bout of mild depression, because those are people God are really trying to use. Have a seat. Have a seat, be obedient, and listen. So it's a powerful thing to realize that you cannot do it on your own. It's a powerful thing to realize that God is going to direct you, and you sit there still, completely still, do nothing until you figure out exactly what God wants you to do. And that's just a patience thing. That's a faith thing that has no timeline, and it does not matter who you are. You're not bigger than that program. So it's just a beautiful thing to be able to know that, you know what? I relinquish. I surrender.
There you go.
And so when you get to that point, that's when you realize, like, you know what, God's trying to use me. My purpose is not to be this superstar XYZ or this thing. Like, no, he wants me all the way over here. And I'm going to keep running into depression if I keep trying to do my own thing. So that's the most important thing, especially with bouts of mild depression. But it has nothing to do with helping the unwell. It has everything to do with obedience. Like, everything for me always leads back to God. I'm the type to want the glory to myself. Like, I am. I'm that type of person. I did that. Woo, woo. But it's hard when you realize it's not you. It's not you. It's all God. So I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
That's my.
That's the Lord.
Yeah.
He calling. He calling.
The Lord is calling.
The Lord said, "You being a little too real right now."
The Lord is saying, "Yes, sir."
Give me a little more glory.
But no, truly, honestly, that's really all it is. It's just a matter of, like, God using whoever he uses. It's like, and sometimes we're not, like, sometimes we truly are just chosen. And I'm just grateful to God that I am chosen, and I just do my best to be obedient, to make sure that whatever he wants me to say before, as soon as you start speaking and you said, "I'm glad you're here," in my head I start praying. Because this has nothing to do with me. Trust me. My response is, you gonna know when it's me. And you gonna know when it's God. So when you hear me say anything that you feel like feeds the spirit, that's nothing but God. And I give him all the glory for that, because it's not me. It's not me at all. So I'm just grateful to be a vessel, but just know God has purpose for you. God is trying to use you. Sometimes he's gonna sit you down, and it's not always the best. He always puts you in the most uncomfortable situation. So just know, in those positioning, it's not like a negative thing to have been in that spot. It just means you need to be still. So,
and God puts people in your life for certain moments. And God speaks through people, and just you saying what you were saying right now, it's like you speaking to me myself.
Yeah.
And so I want to just thank you for, you know, allowing yourself to be a vessel for him, because right now you just spoke to me in a manner where everything you said, literally I felt it was for me to hear. So I just thank you for that.
Look
for
at
sure.
God.
To God be the
Yeah.
glory.
That
I'm
is
telling you.
nobody
To
sure.
God be the glory.
but God. And
Can't
I
make it
love
up.
how you purpose. Purpose.
Yeah,
It's
purpose.
like
Yep.
a lot of times what we have planned for ourselves is not our purpose. And like you said, until you sit down
Be still.
and ask God, what is my purpose? And be obedient to that, to what he has called us to do. Nothing is, you're going to hit rock bottom every time. You're going to keep hitting
Over and over.
It's not, and a lot of times we get caught up in what people are telling us we should do. Oh, you should be this. Oh, I think you would be a good this, or you would be, you know, you should do this. It's like, no, that's not. And for me, it was like, once I got to that point, like, do what I want. I kind of always kind of been, you know, a little rebel anyway. So I wasn't the one to be like, oh, you should do this. You know what? No, I'm not. But again, it was, you know, God sitting me down like, you had actually been doing it already. So what are you waiting? What are you doing? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I had to like sit down, and it was like you said, complete silence. God get you there in that your most vulnerable state.
Yeah.
And that's when I started like hearing from like, and I started thinking back like, wait a minute, I'm already actually, you know what? This actually is my purpose. And when I tell you, once you be obedient, once you decide, you know what, I surrender.
Yeah.
When I tell you, things will effortlessly, because it's in his will, it's his purpose. But you got to let him guide you. Even when you receive it, you can't. And I always say this: don't jump ahead of God with things that I do. With I can do. I have a lot of grand ideas that I haven't even done yet, because it's like, no, now you're jumping. Now you're doing some shellism right now.
Yeah, come on.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Pipe down, 'cause you know me. I'm gonna be able to go home.
Shellism? I know that's right. New word.
First time
Add
hearing
to
that.
dictionary.
We
First
will
time
get
hearing
on
that.
her own way.
You know
Shellism.
me. I can really like just like, oh, I think we should do this. And then my husband, thank God for my husband. God always kind of speaks to him like, well, hold on, honey, wait a minute. But you know, because you get excited or whatever. But and then when I finally come down off of that, it's like, you know what? No, because you know what? This would have happened. That would have. I don't even want to be in that type of arena. And so again, that obedience is very important. But again, it's a lot of times that depression comes because you're not operating in your purpose. You're not operating in your purpose. Like, what is it that God has, you have to like, what is it that God planted in me? Like, forget what everybody else is doing. Forget all this, forget what I used to do, because I could have been doing the wrong thing for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's okay if I was doing the wrong thing for 10 years. But now at this point, I'm saying, God, I surrender to you. What is it you're going to have me to do?
Yeah. And
those 10 years don't matter, because God is giving you an opportunity to start over. He's giving you that opportunity for that fresh start. So you can't like sit in a space and like beat yourself up like, oh my gosh, I wasted 10 years doing the wrong thing, or 10 years doing nothing. It doesn't matter. You still here.
Yeah.
And I'm a strong believer in that. I'm still here I made that mistake. You know what? Okay, whatever. I did. Yeah, I did that. Okay. Now moving on. Today I'm doing this. Today I'm deciding to do the right thing. So, and that's just how I am. You know, like I'm like, I don't like sit in my mistakes. And I've had it to where people, 'cause everybody know me, I used to have a little temper, right? And so once I started to change that, I noticed like people would kind of try to provoke me. And then like, if they see a little of it, they'll call it out. And I'm like, nah, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I don't sit, but I know people will do it so you can, to kind of take you back to that space so you can sit in that, the shame of it. I'm not sitting. It's like, yeah, I did. Yesterday I did do that.
Yep.
I'm not doing that with you today.
Yep. And
so you got to be okay
absolutely
with that. You got to be okay with, you know what? Okay, I slipped up.
Yeah.
But today, God woke me up. He's given me another opportunity. That was the old me.
Yeah.
You can say what you want to say, but that was the old me.
Yeah.
Meet the new me. Welcome.
Come on.
Yep.
Look.
Hey, knew you.
Welcome.
And that's how the devil
And
get
you
busy,
gotta
though.
be. I'm telling you,
That's
you
how you
gotta
get
be,
busy.
and you gotta be diligent. You gotta be confident.
One.
You gotta be confident.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the enemy will try to tell you, "Oh, that confidence is arrogance." No, it's not.
Yeah.
I'm confident in who God called me to be.
Yeah.
I believe who God says that I am. That's my confidence.
Come
Yeah.
on.
There's
That's
no
all you
arrogance
need.
in that.
Yep.
Yep.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things too that we as a society struggle with is asking for help.
Yeah.
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 And, you know, just even going back to my own story, part of the depression was I had lost a lot of friends in the course. I think I lost like maybe 4 or 5 friends in the course of 3 years.
Yeah.
Just all to violence, right? And so it tore me
Yeah.
because these are my confidants. These are my outlets. Like, who I'm gonna call? Like,
Yeah.
to talk about specific things. And so I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, yo, like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And the stubbornness kicked in me where I'm like, I figure it out. Kind of goes back to my freeway analogy I used. I was in the wrong lane.
Yeah.
I had to hop back up in this lane. And like you said, I had to start from zero. So that started with asking for help. And so where are we in society where we find it so difficult to ask for help? Is it the feeling of being judged?
Yeah.
Is it and when I mean ask for help, I don't just mean to your friends, parents. I'm talking
Right.
therapy, counseling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Where do we stand with that? How can we bridge the gap with encouraging others to ask for help?
I think to Shell's point, like you really like the devil does get that active. He gets that busy, and he will use people to like get in your head to get in your way. Like help is always right there, especially family, whether the judgment is there or not. Like you have to really be in the point of submissiveness to know, like if I need help, I'm going to get it regardless. And the people who are there that's supposed to support you have to really do that from a vulnerable place as well, because it's like, you know what? I don't agree with this, but I love this person. I gotta be here for this person.
Yeah.
I feel like, if you're getting in your head about needing help and asking for help, that's nothing but the devil. That's how he get busy, because if I keep you distracted and I keep you feeling alone, then you're never going to get to where you're supposed to be. You're never going to get to that purpose. And that's why I feel like God is so good, because if you are focusing on him and you focusing on that, then you get out of your head about what somebody feels. Somebody is going to feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to say something. Somebody will be used. But it's so much easier for me now because I always think about God. So if I'm thinking about God, then yes, somebody will judge me for what I've done and what I've been through. But I'm focused on the fact that, you know what? God is going to provide as soon as I open up that door. Like vulnerability is one of the biggest things you can do for yourself. Like getting out of the space of hiding. If you got to hide, it's hard to get that help.
Yeah.
And I really just feel like, we have to be okay with the fact that all those things are going to be true.
Yeah.
People are going to judge you. People are going to talk about you. People are going to say negative things. But if I know for sure on the other side of this is going to be how I get through it. Then I can all that noise can go away, because we're not here to say like, oh, I'm only willing to accept help if nobody says nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
No, like I really have to believe so much in the fact that I need to get through this to get to the other side of this, to make sure that the door's open for me to do God's work, that whatever that is in the way, bust through it.
bust
And it's
through
going to be hard, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to be all the people that you thought like supposed to be there for you going to go away. But I'm just like, that's the good thing about focusing on what you're supposed to be doing, because yes, it's not going to be easy. Help is not going to be the way that you want it to be. But why would you? I don't even expect that. Expect to get better. Expect to feel better. Expect to get in your prayer. As soon as if I just keep going, if I keep pushing through, then I'll be okay with all of this noise. Because when I get on the other side of this, and I'm gonna look back all the people who was in my way. Bless y'all, because y'all grew me. Y'all gave me. Now I could be a little bit more patient. I could be a little more kind. I could be more compassionate. Because I went through something so hard, and you know what's messed up about it? Sometimes you go through things for other people because you have a son, a black son, and you never know what you the mentality that you have or what you went through. How many people understand what you went through? Not many. But I bet you if your son ever had that type, you be right there and you understand you can help push him through from beginning to end. Right. So sometimes you don't even know why you're going through things. Right. Because I know sometimes I've helped people and they say the same thing that I just went through. And I'm like, I know I didn't go through this just to help you. Coach you through this, but sometimes God really is like that. Sometimes He'll put you through things because you on the other side. You having this conversation as a conversation. That means you felt, you went through, you survived it. So it's like He gave you a very hard job that you was able to make it through. It's going to be a lot of people that don't make it through. Somebody that knows how to make it through got to be present. So it's like, I gave you a very hard battle. I'm not sorry that you had to go through that because I needed you, somebody strong, to be able to coach somebody through that. So you don't have you could wear some of your scars like a crown. Like I went through this and I get to put my crown on because that's a jewel in my crown. I could pull somebody through this and not even worry about it. So I think that that's very courageous of you to not hide in a situation, to ask for help. And you know what it looks like, even if they don't say nothing, that person need help. So now it's your responsibility now to have these conversations, to make sure that when you see somebody who's silently not asking for help, you pull them through because you know what that looks like. You know what the verbiage is. You know how they acting, how uncomfortable they are. You know those words. You know that. So you can pull people through that. So I feel like asking for help should be something now that one, you should be able to see if they're not asking, but now you also can identify how to be able to help those other people as well. So I think it's a blessing to be able to show people how to ask for help and making people feel okay with the fact that people are going to judge you and all those things are going to happen. So that's just a part of it. But that you got to push through. Teaching people how to push through, be strong and have faith is all that we can do in that space because it's not going to be easy. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be fought, made to have faith. So
and just knowing that there's different avenues of help. I know, like when I would go through what I would go through. I think I got to talk to a therapist. But you don't have to talk to a therapist. Your help can be writing. So for me, that's my help. Writing. Your help can be music. Your help can be working out. There are different avenues for your help. And then they're positive avenues. Because let's not get it twisted. There are bad ways to help somebody. Right? So you want to make sure you're looking at the positive ways that you can help yourself and help others.
And then that goes back to the whole point. Like if you're writing a book, like you're having a conversation, you're writing a book, it's a manual of point A to point B. So you are responsible. Like that makes you very responsible. Because imagine, Malik, you go through what you go through, you don't write the book. Somebody who needs to see that book does not get in their hands. So again, like when you have all these stumbling, the roadblocks in your way for you not to get your book done, now you can see like, you know what, this is why the devil didn't want me to get this done. Because these are all these distractions. So it's like keep pushing through because your book has nothing to do with you. It's purpose driven. Anybody who picks up that book is going to get the help that they need because of what you've been through. That is important. So now it's like when these distractions come up, I don't have to worry about all the little things that get in my way. I have to get this done. That is being obedient. So it's always going to drive back to that because everybody don't have access to the church. Everybody doesn't have access to being able to go to therapy. Everybody can't depend on their friends at all times. But maybe somebody say, here, read this book. And it's yours. And that's the thing that breaks them through. We hear those stories all the time. So for sure. It's always, that's why you can't let the little small things get in your way. Because I'm pretty sure there was hundreds of things that got in your way to get this book done. I'm pretty sure there was hundreds of things that made you feel like I'm not going to share this conversation. I don't want anybody to know this, but it's your responsibility. And I think that that's like, just in case people don't have that access to be able to ask for that help, that little silent little piece, they'll be able to utilize those things. But again, that comes from all of us sitting up here being obedient at the end of the day.
Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Absolutely.
And you know, it again, like you said, you sharing your story, you pouring yours into this book and sharing this book. My healing has come from other people's stories.
Come on.
It has come from other people's stories, other people sharing, being transparent enough to share with me. It's like, oh my God, like find like somebody, because a lot of times you feel like some people are just not gonna get it. You know what I mean? Like, and there are some people don't want to get it, and some people are just not gonna get it. Because they may be dealing with their own demons or it's sitting in their own shame.
Yep.
But God will place people, and the blessing is, I shared this earlier on the phone with somebody, that how the show, the Women CANDO Show, has been a blessing for me, because I get to connect with all of these women who I may have grown up different from, like, let's say there can be one woman who she grew up in foster care. She was raped, you know what I mean? And all these things happened, but she overcame that, right? Even though I didn't have that situation, her story helped me to heal from other things. You know what I mean? Like, and so again, if she hadn't shared, if they weren't on this show sharing those things with me, when I tell you, the show has changed my life because of my guest.
Yeah.
Now here I and they'll tell me, like, thank you, you created this space, and I'm like, no, you guys are blessing me. And so that's where it, you know what I mean? It, like, because again, my intent behind it was to bring people on to share their stories so people can be touched. My intent wasn't to bring people on, so I wasn't thinking like, oh, this is going to be therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
But to your point, how therapy, it's not necessarily going to therapy, it's these other things. So I can attest to, it has been me receiving other people's stories and testimony that has healed me.
Yep.
I stand on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of cases of vulnerability meets vulnerability.
Yeah.
And then I learned that just coaching and working with kids, and because going through certain things, I could see myself in them.
Yeah.
But they're having those outbursts.
Yeah.
They're having those lows, those moments where they just feel less than.
Yeah.
And I can relate to them, because, like you said, like I went there, I got on the other side.
Yeah.
So now since I'm on the other side, let me come back and try to help
Absolutely.
give you some tools and resources to pull you to the other side.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things in my journey that was so helpful with asking for help and even therapy, I did some counseling sessions and stuff like that, was as the years went on, so fast forward to me losing my grandpa last year, I feel without that journey pre him being gone, I wouldn't have been able to deal with it as good as I did.
Yeah.
Of course, family around me, everybody being strong, it held me together. But in my lonely times by myself, I was just as strong.
Yeah.
And I felt, because I did some of the work over the years to get out of those mini depressions or whatever you want to call it that I was in, and I was able to be vulnerable. Shout out to my big bro mentor, Coach May.
Yeah, for sure.
He was a driving force.
Yeah,
because he was one of the first people that I just poured everything out to in that time. I mean, everything. I would tell certain people I was going through this or that, but it was him that. And he didn't force it out of me.
No.
He just kept jamming it in my head, kept being there for me. Hey, I'm here. But you can be vulnerable. You can cry with me. And I did. And I wasn't afraid to shed those tears with him.
Yeah.
And because it was somebody I was confiding in, not only because I looked at him as my big bro, but because of his experiences, what he's went through, how he don't have his mom, and how he kind of dealt with those, coping with that.
Yeah.
And so I feel the vulnerability aspect is a factor that helps us pull others to the other side with us. And so,
and you know what was good, like you said, you were on that lane. You were there, and so this is where purpose to your pain. You went through it, so now you can identify if someone else, and you can be empathetic, which leads you to help, to do what I can. Like, okay, I know I was there and I know how that felt.
Yeah.
Hey, let me go reach out. Let me, are you okay?
Yeah.
That's the three words that people do not. We
question.
are not you. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Like we need to ask that more often.
Yeah.
Or to even the strongest person.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, you just don't know how. I remember when you know, when my dad was he was sick, you know, he was, because I hadn't shared my total grief journey, planning to just kind of putting things together, but I was grieving his sickness. And so I'll never forget my cousin, we are like this, like there's nothing we can't share. We can be vulnerable with each other. And she asks, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." She's like, No. Are you okay?
Yeah.
And it was just the way she said it. And I was like, "No, I'm not okay. I'm angry."
Yeah.
And I just started I really shared with her how I really felt, about my faith at that time, about what I was dealing with God, the whole why, you know what I mean? And I just really but it was because she genuinely cared and said, "Are you okay?" Because I'm used to just "Nah, I'm good," you know.
Yeah, keep it moving.
And people not really saying, "Wait a minute, no. She may not be okay. Let's check in with her again."
Yeah.
And she's consistent with that. So you gotta have people like that but her doing that made me want to do it more. It made me check myself, am I checking in? Do I, you know what I mean? It made me even take a look at myself, I need to
Take
check
inventory
in
with
on.
yourself.
She went through this a few months ago. I didn't really check in and say, "Wait, hey, are you okay now?" Hey, what's going? You know what I mean? And so now I'm more intentional about doing that. So her doing that with me in that way, because you do I felt alone. I felt alone. I did. I don't care how I always tell people, you can have the biggest family, you can know 10 million people, you can still feel alone.
Absolutely.
And so in that time I did. I felt alone, and it was her saying that when I cannot tell you how comforting that, and I'll never forget it. I can't tell you how comforting that was, you know.
Yeah.
But again, because she had went through it with her dad. Yep. You know what I mean? So I know, and we kind of had the same dad, you know, her dad, our dads were, you know, our everything. And so she knew, she's like, "No, are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm mad." And I just kind of told her what I really felt about everything. Yeah. And it was again, it was healing. It felt good because I needed to get that out. Because what happens with me, if I bottle it up, it's going to come out the wrong way.
Yeah.
And so I was able to unleash that, and she was able to kind of talk to me. It was just so comforting. And even to this day, the conversation continues. You know, it's not, you know, my dad's been gone a year, but it's still you know, "Are you okay with, you know?" Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Some days are better than others, but I think as long as we just are on the pursuit of being better than we were the day before.
Yeah.
And just keep instilling those values within ourselves, and just keeping the devil out of our way. Like you said, busting through those doors, because the doors going to continue to come. They're going to continue to come. And just when you think,
Yep.
all right, clear path,
Things can be perfect today and tomorrow.
So,
and drink your water.
Yeah, drink your water. Stay healthy, you know, physically, mentally. Talk to God. If nobody else, you know, talk to God.
Let's say that.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just, you know, just exactly. Mind your business before you get into somebody else's business. Make sure that your business is
straight. Make sure it's straight.
You know, make sure your household is put together before you try to, you know. But that's real. That's real. And so I think we just got to continue to strive forward. Be there for each other. Be mentors to the younger ones as much as we can. Give them sound advice. And most importantly, I always talk about this with my friends. It's about the experience. You know, tell them about your experience.
Yeah.
Don't just tell them do XYZ
right
as a solution. Tell them why.
Yeah.
Hey, try XYZ. It may not work for you, but just try it. Because for me, this worked.
Yeah.
Don't feel judged. I've been there.
Yeah.
Don't feel less than. I've been there. Don't feel, don't just try your best.
Yeah.
And I think as long as we just keep maneuvering and just keep talking to God too. As much as we talk to others, just keep talking to God. 'Cause like you said, He want all that glory.
That's
right.
Right.
And so so I'll just end with this to anybody out there, no matter the age, race, whatever. if you need resources, anything, seek those resources. Talk to somebody. Don't just talk to yourself all the time. Mm-hmm. That's not always the best solution.
Yeah.
Just talk to those who you feel are sober-minded and who can give you some insight. And to talk to those who can refer you to somebody who has insight. So I want to thank everybody for coming. This was a very powerful blessing. That's what I would call this. Yeah, not just an episode. This was a powerful blessing.
Yeah.
I felt like I was back in church.
Amen. Hallelujah.
I just got the good word, and I walked out, and I'm walking out with my spirit is renewed, and I sincerely mean that, because we especially in our society and our culture, we don't do this much. We don't. We need to do it more.
Yeah.
And so that's why, because to your point about how the ICANDO, you heard other stories that kind of gave you therapy and gave you healing. Yeah. It's the same for me. Yeah. Just being in the background, hearing those stories and hearing how people came from this side to the other. Yeah. And even this podcast that we've started up. Yeah. So I want to thank everybody. Sis, I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I'm glad I could lean on you.
Yes.
I appreciate you.
That's our resident guru.
Yeah, you really,
our resident
you really
wellness
did your
guru.
big one. You was talking that talk. So I appreciate you. And like I said, to anybody else out there that needs any help, seek that help. Hit up anybody that you think that you can confide in. Yeah. I'm your boy Rashad, aka Culture Chronicles, First Lady, Sister Rashad Sawyer, my brother Malik, Mr. Mech himself, Health and Wellness Guru, my sis ZsaTiera. We out. God bless.